This post is for someone I love very much who is living in fear right now. She asked me to tell her story without her name on it because she's scared of what will happen if he finds out she's asking for help. If you write something, please know that it will get to her because she will read it through me. Someone who really knows what she's going through needs to help her so badly. It seems like my friend is getting further and further away from me every day because she is stuck in a cruel marriage. Let me tell you about her before everything happened. It's important to know that this beautiful, strong, smart woman didn't start out as someone who was afraid. She was the kind of person who made every room brighter. Confident, funny, and driven. She had a great job in marketing, a close group of friends, and big plans to see the world. When she met her husband 5 years ago, we were all happy for her. He seemed charming, thoughtful, successful. He worked in real estate and presented himself as someone who had his life together. The first year of their relationship was intense, but seemed sweet at the time. He wanted to spend every moment with her. He'd text constantly when they were apart. He'd show up at her job with flowers. Looking back now, we can see the red flags we all missed. The way he'd get upset if she made plans without him. The subtle comments about her friends being bad influences. The jokes about her clothes that weren't really jokes. They got married 3 years ago. That's when things started changing, slowly at first. He got her to quit her job, saying his income was enough and wouldn't it be nice if she didn't have the stress of working? She loved her job, but he was persistent, and the idea of less stress was appealing. So she quit. That was the first thread of her freedom he pulled. Then he suggested they move to a house farther from the city, closer to his work, he said. It meant she was now 40 minutes away from her friends and family instead of 15 minutes. Visits became less common. The separation was gradual enough that she didn't notice it happening. The first time he hit her was about 18 months ago. She had gone to lunch with her sister without telling him beforehand. When she came home, he was angry. He yelled at her for hours about disrespecting him, about making choices without consulting him. Then he grabbed her arm so hard, it left bruises. She wore long sleeves for 2 weeks. He apologized profusely the next day, cried, said he'd never do it again, that he'd been under so much stress at work, that he loved her so much, the thought of anything happening to her made him crazy. She believed him. She wanted to believe him. But it happened again. And again. Each time there was an excuse. She'd embarrassed him at a family meeting. She'd spent too much money at the grocery store. She'd forgotten to do something he'd asked. Each time he'd apologize after, sometimes with gifts, always with promises. Each time the violence increased a little more. Now, a year and a half later, she walks on eggshells every single day. She monitors everything she says, everything she does, trying to guess what might set him off. Some days, she succeeds, and the house is peaceful. Other days, something she couldn't have predicted. Dinner being 5 minutes late, a phone call from her mother, a stain on his shirt, triggers an explosion. The abuse isn't just physical, though that's scary enough. He's broken her down emotionally until she barely recognizes herself. He controls every part of her life now. He took over all the funds when she quit her job. She has no access to their bank accounts. He gives her a small amount of cash each week for groceries, and she has to provide records for every penny. If she's even $1 off, he accuses her of hiding money or being careless. He watches her phone. He knows her passwords to everything. He checks her call logs, her texts, her social media. She's learned to delete anything that might upset him. She rarely talks to her friends anymore because he interrogates her after every chat, twisting her words until she feels guilty for things she didn't even do. He's isolated her almost totally. Her friends stopped reaching out as much after she canceled plans so many times. Her family knows something is wrong. They've seen the bruises she tried to hide. They've heard the change in her voice. But when they ask, she lies. She protects him, even though she doesn't know why anymore. Maybe it's shame. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's because he's told her that no one would believe her, that everyone thinks they're the perfect couple. 3 months ago, things got worse. He pushed her down the stairs during a fight. She hurt her back and could barely walk for a week. He didn't take her to the hospital because he said the doctors would ask too many questions. She suffered at home, taking over-the-counter painkillers, sleeping on ice packs, afraid to move wrong. Last month, he choked her during a fight. She truly thought she was going to die. She could see the anger in his eyes, feel her vision going dark. He stopped just before she passed out, then left the house for hours. When he came back, he acted like nothing had happened. She wants to leave. God, she wants to leave so badly. But she feels completely stuck. She has no money. He rules everything. She has no job. She's been out of work for years now, and her confidence is destroyed. She thinks no one would hire her. She has no car. They share one vehicle and he has the keys. She has no place to go. She's too ashamed to tell her family the full truth, and she's scared he'd find her there anyway. She's afraid of what he'd do if she tried to leave. He's told her multiple times that if she ever tries to leave him, he'll find her. That she belongs to him. That he'd rather see her dead than with someone else. She believes him. She's seen what he's capable of when he's angry. She's also been conditioned to believe she can't live without him. He tells her constantly that she's useless, that she's lucky he puts up with her, that no one else would want her. After hearing it enough times, part of her started believing it. The psychological prison he's built is almost stronger than the actual one. She reached out to me last week after he went to work. She was crying so hard, she could barely speak. She showed me the bruises on her ribs, the fingerprints on her neck. She told me she can't keep living like this, but she doesn't know how to get out. I've been trying to help her think through choices, but I'm not an expert in domestic violence situations. I'm afraid of giving her advice that might put her in more danger. That's why I'm here, asking for help from people who might have experience or information we don't have. Here's what she's asking. How does she leave safely when she has no money and no transportation? What tools exist for women escaping domestic violence with no financial means? Should she tell her family the full truth, even though she's ashamed? How does she document the abuse in case she needs proof later? Is it safer to leave quickly or to plan over time? What legal rights can she get? Restraining orders, etc. How does she rebuild her life after being separated and controlled for so long? Has anyone escaped a scenario like this? How did you do it? What mistakes should she avoid that might put her in more danger? Are there groups that can help her find housing, a job, counseling? She's reading everything you write. She needs to know there's a way out, that other women have survived this and rebuilt their lives. She needs practical help about the logistics of leaving safely. She needs to hear that she's not weak, not stupid, not worthy of this. Things he's made her believe about herself. Right now, she's at a breaking point. She knows staying might eventually mean he kills her. But going feels impossible. She's paralyzed by fear and lack of means. If you have experience with domestic violence, whether you've survived it, helped someone avoid it, or work in services that support survivors, please share what you know. If you know about legal protections, shelters, financial support programs, safety planning, anything that could help her, please tell us. A woman's life might literally count on the advice shared here. She wants you to know that she's stronger than she feels right now. That somewhere inside her is still that confident, lively woman who existed before him. She just needs help finding the way back to herself. Thank you for reading this, and for any advice you can provide.